Hello everybody, what's up? It's Fern. I hope that you are all doing so well. Happy 2021. I cannot believe it's a new year. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here, watching this video on my channel, supporting me. I appreciate it so much. So it's been a hot minute since I have filmed a video. I am doing my 2020 favorites today and we are already into January 2021. So I'm so sorry about that. I've had a lot going on, both just in work and my personal life. So I apologize, but I am here back on track with regular content. So yeah, I'm really excited to share with you my top. I actually ended up picking 11, I believe, plants of the year 2020. It was so hard to choose and I'm already like anxious that there's one that I should have chosen that I didn't. But honestly, I just love all my plants so much, it's so hard to choose. Okay, so the first one I have here I'm sure will come as no surprise. Actually, I don't think any of these plants are gonna come as a surprise because you guys already know that I love them. You've seen them a bunch of times, and these are in no particular order. I'm just grabbing the plants that I've chosen and I'm gonna show them to you. So this is the first one. This is my Variegated Miranta. Oh my goodness, she is just so large and in charge now. It's crazy. So yes, you guys know that I love this plant so much. I think Variegated Miranta is so underrated. Like, it is so beautiful and the variegation just varies so much. Like, there's so many different colors and it really changes depending on what kind of lighting you give the plant. Like, it's just so interesting. I love this plant so much and it's been so easy for me. Sometimes Miranta are prone to spider mites. And she has had spider mites a couple times, but it's honestly been like no problem to get rid of them despite her having so many leaves. Like, she's just so resilient. She has a bunch of crispy leaves that I need to take off. I have been neglecting her a little bit lately, but she's still just like thriving and putting out new leaves. Like, she's just amazing. I love her so much. So of course I had to include her in my 2020 favorites. She's probably one of my favorites just of all time, but yes, she is beautiful. Okay, next, I feel like I show this plant so much, so I'm so sorry, but once again, my Philodendron Milinochrysome. I could not put this plant on my favorites. I just am constantly in awe of it. It grows so fast. It's so beautiful. I love that it's climbing the pole now. I just can't get enough of it. I'm obsessed. That is its newest leaf and it is actually going to unfurl an even newer one right there. I'm not kidding, this plant is always putting out a new leaf. As soon as it unfurls a leaf, it's already shooting out another one. Like, it's crazy. I just love this plant so much. I put a moss pole extension, that's the one I made. I attached it to the one Courtney sent me down here, so it's a little crooked, but that's okay. And yeah, I just have some crystals to weigh this down because it's so tall now, but I cannot wait to see what this plant does in 2021 because I think that it's going to get really big, you guys. Like, I think we're gonna get some of those bigger leaves pretty soon, especially with it climbing. And yeah, I just love it so much. Like, it's just perfect. I love everything about this plant. Okay, next we have a Euphorbia. This is my Euphorbiavaragata, which you guys have seen before as well. I just love this plant so much. I'm really into the look of Euphorbia. I just think that they're so beautiful. As you guys know, I've gotten a lot more into cactus and succulent in the year 2020, so I'm really excited to collect more this year. But yeah, I just love it so much. I love how light the variegation is. It's like a very pale green, and you can see the lighting isn't great in here, but it is like a really cool pattern, and it's just been so easy for me, and it's grown so much. Well, to me that's a lot. It's grown, these used to be the same size and it's grown like that much just in the summertime. So I'm really impressed with myself that this guy has done so well, and I'm really excited to see what it does in the growing season of this year. So yeah, I just think it's such a cool, especially in the terracotta, like this is just such a cool looking plant. I love it. Okay, next we have another one of my favorite plants of all time, which is my Cebu Blue. Oh my gosh, Epiprem Cebu Blue. I love this plant so much. Like, oh my god, when this plant, when I walk by it catches my eye and I'm just like, oh my god, I love it so much. Like, it's so pretty, that silvery color, oh my gosh. And just the leaves are so like long and slender. Like, everything about this plant is so absolutely stunning. And this plant is one of my fastest growing plants as well. It's constantly putting out a new leaf. Honestly, similar to the Milinochrysome, this plant is just always going. It has a new leaf right there that it's going to unfurl pretty quick as well. I've already taken a couple cuttings of this, and I've already repotted another cutting in the top there, you can see, so it's gonna become more full. But yeah, I can't believe how beautiful this plant is. I got this as a small cutting in, I believe, June, and I've already taken multiple cuttings. I've already traded some of the cuttings and planted more cuttings in here, and I have another pot of this in my house. So yeah, and plus the vine is just so long. Like, I need to cut this again soon because it's gonna be touching the floor from where it's sitting. But yeah, oh my goodness, I will never get over this plant. It's so beautiful. I know this plant is hyped up, and it is like 100% worth the hype in my opinion. I actually have some of the cuttings that Courtney sent me from hers growing up a moss pole right now. And oh my gosh, I just cannot wait to see what that ends up looking like. I hope that I can get some bigger leaves. I'm obsessed with this plant. I'm obsessed, okay? Okay, and next on my list, I had to include my giant Monstera Deliciosa that I was able to get sometime in the middle of last year. I think at the beginning of May, and I honestly could not believe that I had found it on Facebook Marketplace. I think I paid $90 for it, but I had never seen a Monstera with this mature of leaves. I was just like, I couldn't believe that I found it. So I went to pick it up, somehow crammed it into my car and drove home with it. And I'm so glad I got it. It was actually unfortunately infested with scale, so it was a huge pain in the butt to deal with when I first got it, but I still don't regret it because it's just absolutely beautiful. All of the like midrib fenestrations. I don't have any other Monsteras that are as mature as this one. It's just so large and beautiful, and I love her so much. So I had to include her on this list because she has brought me so much joy since I've had her in the year of 2020. Okay, next, this is a crowd favorite, my Hoya Polyne. This plant, so many people love this plant, and it's for good reason. It is just so beautiful. The growth pattern and the leaf shape are stunning. Like, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. That is so, so pretty. And another reason that I love this plant is that it's such a fast grower as well. That's a theme for me. Like, when plants are fast growers, I'm just like, yes, like love. It just feels so satisfying and rewarding. And that's definitely the case with this plant. I've already traded a couple of cuttings of it as well, and it just grows even more. When I cut it, it puts off more growth points, and now it's got multiple vines, and I just bought this as one small vine in the summer. So I just can't believe how long it's getting. It unfortunately did get burnt a couple of weeks ago, so it has some discoloration on some of the leaves. You can see it's like orangey on those leaves, which is really unfortunate. I was pretty upset about that, but that's okay. The new growth, it's already putting out new growth that's just like absolutely beautiful, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I think I was keeping my grow lights on for too long, so I've reduced the time now because a couple of my plants did get burnt. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites. And then next, of course, I had to put my Monstera Adansonii on this list. It just would not feel right if I didn't. This plant has been so rewarding for me from when it was just a huge, luscious, trailing plant. I absolutely loved it. And now, as you guys know, I have put it on a moss pole, and it just looks absolutely beautiful as well. Both ways, I love this plant. I am excited to have it on the pole though, because I'm hoping to get some larger leaves on it, so we'll see how it does. But this plant is just so rewarding. Again, it's just constantly growing. I will say it can be a little bit finicky with watering. If you let it dry out too much, it will yellow its leaves pretty quickly. But I just keep a close eye on it, and honestly, it's just so beautiful. And I love the leaves, especially the bigger ones, and they have like such a pretty sheen to them. Yeah, I just love this plant so much, and it's made me so happy, so I had to put it on the list as well. So of course, I had to include my beautiful Hoya Crimson Queen. Look at her. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. This plant makes me so happy. Like, I'm so happy I have it. It's such a huge pot now. I can't even believe it. Like, she is trailing so long, and I've taken multiple cuttings from her as well. She is just so beautiful. I know that this isn't the rarest Hoya in the world, but honestly, it's one of the prettiest. Like, I will always think that she is just, oh, she's so beautiful. Like, I cannot. She puts out all white leaves too. She has a couple of all white branches, and yeah, I just am constantly in awe of how beautiful she is and how easy she is. I honestly water her like every 6 weeks, maybe like every 2 months even. She's not demanding at all. It's so easy to tell when she needs water. When her leaves get soft, I actually could water her now. They're getting a little bit soft, but she's just so happy and stunning. I love her so much. Like, oh my goodness, just such a beautiful plant. Those beautiful glossy variegated leaves, oh my goodness, I can't. She's perfect. She's perfect. Okay, next I have a plant that I got in the summertime as well, and we went on a little bit of a journey, so this is gonna be hard to show. This is my variegated string of hearts, and it is still like not a super huge plant. She is actually very long, but she's just basically one vine. I've taken multiple cuttings from her, so I'm going to be making a fuller pot, but for now she's just like vibing as her one vine. I actually have a couple of different propagations of her going because she has grown so quickly. She's been touching the floor multiple times, so that's why I've had to trim her so much. But this plant is just, oh, it's just so beautiful and so fast growing. And I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was like in June when I got this plant, and it came to me as like one dying strand. So I put it in a Ziploc bag, which somebody suggested to me, and I saved it, which I was so surprised at because I for sure thought that I was going to lose it, but I didn't. It survived, and now I have this really long strand and more babies going. So in 2021, hopefully I will have a nice full pot of this. But yeah, it's just like, oh, it's just such a beautiful plant. It just really is. Like, the variegated version of String of Hearts is just so stunning, especially when you give it a lot of light and it gets super pink. I love it so much. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens with this guy in the new year. Okay, and then I actually have another trailing plant to show you guys. This is also one that I got in the summer. This is my beautiful Hoya Linearis. It's getting a little bit crazy right now because it's shot out a couple of new growth points that haven't really started trailing yet. So yeah, you can see those there, but then it has these beautiful trailing strands. Oh my goodness, this plant has grown so much, and I actually have a couple propagations of this going as well. Actually, I think this was a propagation that I took that I repotted in here, and then it ended up shooting this vine out here. So I still have one more propagation going, but yeah, I just like, oh my goodness, I love this plant so much. Like, kind of the same story with the variegated string of hearts. I'm just really looking forward to it being like a full hanging pot, and it's definitely something that I want to be able to take cuttings from and propagate, but something that I really want to keep as like a large pot for myself as well. So I'm just like so excited, and it grows so quickly, so I have no doubts that I will have a large pot of this by the end of 2021. And it's just like such a cool looking plant. Like, I just love it. And if you don't have one and you've never seen one in person, it's really cool because the little leaves are actually fuzzy, so they have a really neat texture to them as well. It's just such a beautiful plant. And then last but definitely not least, I'm sure that you guys can guess which one I'm going to show you now. It is my Silver Sword Philodendron. Oh my gosh, I will never get over this plant. Like, I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with her. But how could I not be? Like, she is literally so beautiful. This is definitely one of my like top 3 favorite philodendrons ever. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this plant, and I never thought that I would be saying this because I was never obsessed with this plant till I saw it in person. Courtney sent me a couple cuttings from hers, and I just could not believe how beautiful it was, the color, just everything about it, the leaf shape. So when I saw my local plant shop gets these big ones in. Of course, I had to run there and buy one, and I do not regret it at all. So now I have multiple Philodendron silver sword, and oh my goodness, I'll never get sick of her. Like, it's just, she is so beautiful. Again, I love like the silvery bluish toned leaves. Like, oh my goodness, anything with foliage this color, I just like, I can't, like, so pretty. So this is a plant that I got near the end of 2020, but I just was so obsessed with it that it had to go on the list. Okay guys, that is it. That is all the plants that I selected to share with you. I believe that was 11. Definitely some of my top picks, some of the plants that bring me the most joy and that have just been so fun for me last year. Let me know what your favorite plant or plants of 2020 were, and also let me know what you think about my choices. Were you surprised? Were you not surprised? Leave me a comment down below. I would love to chat with you. Like I said before, I am back on track with regular content, so there's going to be 3 to 4 videos a week, and I'm so stoked about that. And if you're interested in bonus content or you just want to support my channel, definitely check out my Patreon. I will have everything linked down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more planty content if you haven't, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.